Maybe it's because I've always been attracted to sonic dissonance, that trope in film where music doesn't match with what's going on in the scene, like when they put happy music over a violent scene. But I find I Disagree, the new album by Poppy, completely captivating. When historians look back at the 2010s in terms of musical history, it's possible that they'll cite this as the dawn of the genreless age. At least that's what numerous musicians and journalists would like you to believe, including Poppy herself. Not comfortably sitting in any one genre category and transitioning between them with ease and class, often within the same song, Poppy is a fascinating artist to listen to. The opener, and possibly my favourite track on the album, Concrete, contrasts her pure, soft, angelic vocals with rapid mosh pit drums and crabcore breakdowns. Also in the song is a break that makes you think of Queen or the Beatles, an outro that makes me think more of Carly Rae Jepsen than someone who was recently on the cover of Kerrang covered in blood. If you've ever listened to a Baby Metal song, you can see Poppy's connection to the J Metal stars. They both have angelic choruses that contrast with the rapid mosh pit verses. As much as I like Baby Metal, it's possible that these songs from Poppy are just higher quality songs, with more interesting things to say. The similarities to Baby Metal continue in the next song, I Disagree, with Poppy opening with the lines, which I'm probably going to butcher here, Watashi wa anata ni doi shimasen, which apparently in Japanese means, I do not agree with you. This line is whispered into the microphone before we get the drop and the distorted guitars joined back in. Back to the sparseness before we continue on with the verse. The chorus is very catchy. The lines, down, let it all burn down, are so easy to sing along to, and the way she is singing in this sweet way doesn't seem to match the words being said, which gives us this sort of horror movie vibe to the song. Next is Blood Money. That's one word, all caps. This one almost immediately has Poppy sounding her angriest. The drums sound distorted, there's dubstep, distorted wobs and screams, alarm sounds. It's all very distorted. But there is that angelic break of what do you believe, before we dive back in with Poppy's laughter and screams, more distortion, more electric sounds, and then a lovely solo from the guitar. Anything Like Me feels a bit more dance-like. There's this electronic beat and melody to open with, although this is joined almost immediately by a massive distorted guitar doing the same sort of melody. The verse could easily be played on Top 40 radio. The rest of the song with the screams and the distorted guitar, maybe less so, but I think it still has the possibility to. There's a soft interlude, acoustic guitars and angelic backing vocals before the final 15 seconds that are almost the heaviest part of the song so far. Feel the Crown is another contender for my favourite song on the album. The verses are an absolutely perfect example of modern metal music. The driving, chugging and pounding drums and guitar lock perfectly into each other, providing a wonderful backdrop for the vocals on top. I'm not sure who is doing the male vocals here, but they sort of sound like they're doing a Marilyn Manson impression, and I really dig it. The low growling vocals transitioning into the bolder, full-bodied singing. Poppy is also great here, as ever, and I really dig the broken computer-sounding break, but it's the male vocals that help to make this song feel fresher than the other ones on the album. Nothing I Need starts slower, nice vocal harmonies, and is the purest song on the album so far. No enormous distorted guitars jumping in. Doesn't feel like it quite lines up with modern pop sensibilities at the moment. Sounds more of a throwback, but to exactly when is not totally clear. Sit/Stay has this lovely bass guitar sounding opening, really metallic sounding. Then what I assume is the chorus has this nice dull drum beat that sounds like it might have been played on a drum pad or a drum machine. Before we jump back into the chaos of the verses. Those metallic bass notes return, this time with echoing vocals that disorientate you. The outro sounds like something that might be in the chase scene of a cyberpunk film, as the protagonist runs away from the corporate cops or something. Bite Your Teeth opens with some massive blast drums and drops into this very danceable guitar line groove that meshes with the drums so well. Then a soft break before we are back to the metal groove. Then there is the sound of an apple being bitten into, and a soft angelic break before the most violent scream we've heard from Poppy on the album. Almost sounds like she's throwing up. And then there is this slow chugging breakdown with distant screams thrown in before we transition to the short orchestral close. Sick of the Sun opens with a flangey, reverby sounding guitar, like you're underwater. The vocal sounds are distant and tinny before coming through in full clarity, joined by an acoustic guitar. This is another song without any heavy elements. It stays in this sort of dreamy underwater soft sort of mode for the whole song. Don't Go Outside is the longest song on the album at 6 minutes and 6 seconds, so you might expect this extra time to be used to fit in even more transitions than the other songs, but that isn't really the case. It opens with this acoustic guitar melody that sort of sounds like a classic rock song, like Stairway to Heaven or something, with poppy sop vocals over the top. It stays in this sort of area for about 1 minute 20-ish before an electronic drum beat joins in, but the rest of the instruments continue on in a similar way. More backing vocals join in, then maybe a violin to build up in the thickness of the song, before the electric guitars finally come in at about 2 minutes 20. This helps everything feel a bit more classic rock. Acoustic drums eventually replace the electric drums, but they are still quite slow, and are back with the acoustic guitar. Eventually there's a guitar solo, and a very tasty one at that. And then there's callbacks to earlier songs, I Disagree, which is the name of the album, as she sings Down, Let It All Burn Down, and Liars from Concrete too. These callbacks bring a nice close to the album. It's the transitions on this album that are maybe most impressive, the ability to make these enormous handbrake turns, but still let the songs feel like cohesive units. That is where the real skill comes in. Lots of people could probably try and smash genres together, but I don't think anyone, bar perhaps baby metal, could blend pure angelic pop with filthy metal music in the way that Poppy can. But Poppy is a different kind of pure, and a heavier and filthier kind of metal than baby metal. It's difficult to say where Poppy will end up next. If you look at her output so far, there is nothing to suggest that this metal-inspired era is where she will stay. She feels like an artist in the truest sense of the word, and so what comes next from her could truly be anything. But given how impressed I was about this album, I'll be sure whatever is released next, I'll be there to listen to it. Poppy is currently on tour in the UK. Find tour dates and tickets online at iampoppy.com. I'll personally be at a show in London on the 15th of March, and I hope to see you there. This was a review show. I think your experience will be enhanced by hearing in full the song featured in the show, which you can get hold of from your favourite music shop or online platform. Please support artists by buying their music or using services that guarantee artists a revenue. This episode was written and produced by me, Stephen Lemontree. Our outro music is Simplicity by Macrophone Music. If you ever want to contact us, you can do so on Instagram and Twitter at nevetslt or email nevetslt@gmail.com. Life is a dog wagging its tail. We'll see you next week.